was a member of Congress, my seat was over there. And here the seat of the lady with the violent, not violent, but rather violet dress is seated. But I was always absent together with the speaker and Tony Boy Florendo, who is still absent until today. And that started, ayan dyan ba? Sorry. But his propensity started almost 17 years ago when we were members of the 11th Congress. Senate President Aquilino Pimentel III and the members of the Senate, Pantaleon Alvarez, the Speaker, and the members of the House of Representatives, Vice President Maria Leonor Robredo, former President Fidel Ramos, Joseph Estrada, and former President Gloria Arroyo, Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno of the Supreme Court, and the members, of course, Archbishop Pinto, and the distinguished guests of the Diplomatic Corps, Secretary Salvador Medaldia, and the members of the Cabinet, my fellow workers in government, my countrymen. When I took my oath of office a year or so ago, I knew that our country was reeling from a multitude of problems. That day there was euphoria in the air resulting from a successful campaign, and the thought that dominated my being was to make good on my promise to the people to bring change about. Change in government, not a change that is passing, but a change that can survive the test of time. Although I still had to know the magnitude and gravity of the problems, my feeling then was that equipped with the political will embraced by a concerned citizenry, those problems would eventually be bested by us. It was only a matter of determination and collective action. It was only a question of time. For as I saw it then, as I see it now, there is no problem in the world which can stop the march of a people with unflinching and tenacious determination. That was how euphoric it has been. Early on, I felt that if change was to be meaningful, it had to start with those occupying the highest position in government, because change that comes from below is more transitory than permanent. I was aiming for peace on permanence. Let change trickle down from the bottom. It has to be change that is not confined merely to the replacement of people by people, but a change in the people's attitude, disposition, and work ethic. Sadly, although we knew years ago that what was needed or ought to do, we did not do because our idea of government was parochial and we could not rise above family, ethnic, and clan loyalties, as well as loyalty to friends and co-workers. No one wanted to be snitched. That is why we are one in saying that genuine change is what this country truly needs. I believe then, as I believe still, that progress and development will sputter if criminals, illegal drugs, illegal users of drugs are allowed to roam on the streets freely, victimizing seemingly with impunity the innocent, the helpless. Worse yet, there were times when in the past when the protectors of the people were themselves the perpetrators of the very crimes they were tasked to prevent or suppress. It is ironic as it is madness. I have learned that the economy surges only when there is peace and order prevailing in places where investors can pour their capital and expertise. I have learned from experience in Davao City that investor confidence bolstered and fortified only if a potent force and mechanism for protection of local and foreign investments are in place. That is why I have resolved that no matter how long it takes, the fight against illegal drugs will continue, because that is the root cause of so much evil and so much suffering that weakens the social fabric and deters foreign investments from pouring in. The fight will be unrelenting as it will be unrelenting. Despite international and local pressures, the fight will not stop until those who deal in it understand that they have to cease, they have to stop, because the alternative are either jail or hell. And I will make sure, very sure, that they will not have the luxury of enjoying the benefits of their greed and madness. I do not intend to loosen the leash in the campaign or lose the fight against illegal drugs. Neither do I intend to preside over the destruction of the Filipino youth by being timid and tentative in my decisions and actions. To the critics against the fight, your efforts will be better spent if you use the influence, moral authority, and ascendancy of your organizations over your respective sectors to educate the people on the evil of illegal drugs, instead of condemning the authorities unjustly, blaming for every killing that bloodies this country. But don't get me wrong, I value human life the way I value mine. Each life that is snuffed out translates into future generations' loss. It is like cracking the acorn from which an oak tree grows, which in turn produces the seeds to complete the complete cycle of perpetuity. There is a jungle out there. There are beasts and vultures preying on the helpless, the innocent, the unsuspecting. I will not allow the ruin of the youth, the disintegration of families, and the retrogression of communities forced by criminals whose greed for money is as insatiable as it is devoid of moral purpose. Neither will I be mobilized into inaction by the fear that I will commit an act that will expose me to public condemnation.